Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Madals, and this is the ESL Pro Series number 5. It's the finals, and spawning down in the bottom left-hand position, the red Terran player. Currently down one game in this best of 3, representing Mouse Sports. It's HeroMarine. And to the bottom right, his opponent, the blue Protoss player, also representing Mouse Sports. 1-0 up against his teammates so far, HasuObs. Game number 1 was intense, that's for sure. There was so much, pretty much constant aggression coming down, so much harassment. But actually, it was HasuObs who came out better from it. And so, congratulations to him there. Definitely getting some nice damage done. Where it goes from here, though, in game number 2, only time will tell. Waiting to see exactly what they have planned. HasuObs didn't only just win through that aggression, he also had double upgrades super early on, so he played quite greedy in that sense. And was actually at 2-3 upgrades by the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken. So far, HeroMarine opening a very similar way. Racks into some gas. Could be a Reaper again. Game number 1, HeroMarine went for 1 gas. And rather than getting a Reaper out immediately, got a Reactor first and then double Reapers. And I've said before, I don't think that's the ideal way to do it against Protoss. Because, what if you wait for the Reactor for the double Reaper? Sure, you've got a bit more utility after that. But the problem is, your Protoss opponent will nearly always have a Stalker and definitely a Mothership core out by the time it hits. So they've got a way to defend against it. But, wait to see if he decides to do that again, but it looks like no he doesn't. Instead, getting out just that 1 Reaper first. Hoping to catch his opponent off guard. Hit before he's prepared with enough units to actually do anything about it. Cybercore is on its way down. That's when Stalkers and Mothership cores can get started. The SCV coming forward. First Reaper just popped out now. It's going to be making its way across after that SCV scout, so we'll get there first. Second gas also getting taken by HasuObs. HeroMarine gets a perfect scout on this, sees precisely when it comes down. And that's always important, knowing exactly when that gas gets taken. The Reaper coming over, Mothership core now getting chrono boosted through. Back at home, HeroMarine adding in the engineering bay. Through comes the Reaper. Nice little bit of damage being done here. Should get a probe kill, maybe even 2 or 3. Depends how well HasuObs pulls them away. Reaper actually goes down. Nice pick off there by HasuObs. Nicely done. And of course with that, clean pick off of a Reaper that's harassing you. A Reaper for 1 probe is not a worthwhile trade. HeroMarine opting for a second Reaper, and this is mainly for scouting. He's going to want to get it back in to keep a good check on what his opponent's doing. HasuObs sending his Mothership core across the map, going to be looking to get a bit of damage done, get a bit of scouting done, and he can feel safe and secure that there's not going to be enough Marines to threaten it, because if your opponent's got a Reaper early, they can't have produced Marines as well. It's just an impossibility. There's currently 1 Marine out. There's going to be 3 by the time this Mothership core starts backing away, and so he's got plenty of space to escape. Full scout should come down. You can also try and get a bit of damage. Just scouts where his opponent is. All he really wanted to do. Stalker is checking up to the north. So now he knows where his opponent is spawning. The Mothership core has done his job. Nothing risked, but something gained. Still no sign of any tech from HasuObs yet, but HeroMarine has got the +1 infantry weapons coming down. It's a build that I really am a massive fan of, going for this +1 before stim. It means that you've got a much stronger defensive force in case of any small gateway prods and pushes, which is always super good. Reaper attempting to get a couple of kills. Probes being pulled just to come and deal with it, so a little bit of lost mining time. Not really going to get the kill though, so the Reaper backs up, will heal up with combat drugs and be pretty much safe. Double Forges yet again coming out from HasuObs, so he's again playing this exceptionally upgrade heavy style. But what he does do different in game number 2 is get a second gateway. Opting to be a bit safer than map 1. Map 1, that second gateway was an now third gateway. Before, these two were a robotics facility. rather than additional gateway production. So a bit safer game number 2. HeroMarine adding in some more barracks. He's got +1, about 3/4 done. Stim on its way. No sign of a factory. Factory just started now. Just 1 additional barracks in a factory. So medevacs are a little way off. That's obviously the downside to this build. This small group of units going to move out, most likely just to try and bait a Photon Overcharge out of the Mothership Core, use up some of that energy. Robo facility now coming down from HasuObs as well. He's about a quarter way through his 1-1. Chrono Boost's not yet being spent. There we go. One was spent on the Nexus, the natural, but now double chronoing onto the Forge, keeping those upgrades steaming through. Twilight Council also on its way, ready to start 2-2, and charge again if he follows a similar build, aiming for those High Templar. Couple of Marines leading the charge, just to make sure that nothing too bad could be waiting up high. One will definitely die to that Stalker. Meanwhile, the second one just waits at the third, just to get a timing of when it is attempted by HasuObs. Always good to know timing of your opponent's third. HasuObs going for some more War Prism play. He was stupidly successful with it in the first game, picking off so many of his opponent's SCVs. It really was what won him the game over time. Gonna try and get similar success this game. He's also adding in the Templar Archives. A Reaper now, attempting to get the Scout down, but only sees a couple of additional gateways, now forcing the scan. The double Forges have been seen this time by that scan, and has the Twilight Council. The only thing that hasn't been seen is the Templar Archives yet. So the fact that's known about is good news for HeroMarine. He can now start preparing an adequate defense. Adds in an armory. Should get a second engineering bay as well to start the 2-1 upgrades. +2 attack, +1 armor for infantry. But he can never catch up with HeroMarine until they're both at 3-3. And that's because of chrono boosts and the fact that HasuObs is already ahead. So, third base is going to get taken by HeroMarine now. Big play, quite a bold move, means he's got more to defend, but he wants to try and get a solid economy. His main is somewhat vulnerable, and the reasoning that I think HasuObs does this, and I could be wrong, is that he waits for this push to come. He waits for the move out of units before moving his own War Prism in. Because pretty much every Terran player goes for a push with 2 medevacs without fail. It's almost like an inbuilt timing that they have to make. And when that comes, all of their army is on the wrong side of the map, so this drop is going to be more effective. And that's exactly what's happening here. HasuObs moves in with those Zealots. He's able to hold this with a Photon Overcharge, and of course some good force fields. And it's only a couple of Zealots in exchange. Handful get dropped in there, a couple more warped into the natural base, and again, already a few SCVs start dying. Not as many as before, 9 workers killed so far, but a lot more going to go down in the natural. This is actually where the big damage is getting done. They're 1-1 Zealots too. So they take a fair beating and deal a fair beating as well. Pylon coming down for HasuObs. In total he's killed 13 workers there, but a handful of Marines coming around the side. They've seen this coming and are going to take it out. In towards the natural base, this could come yet again. Third base trying to get taken by HasuObs. Third base for HeroMarine already up. HasuObs, I'm not sure if he did manage to see it. Yeah, he has. He's got an observer there. So both players, or at least HasuObs, are aware of what his opponent's doing. HeroMarine hasn't yet scouted that the third is coming from his opponent. The War Prism's still threatening, but only a 3-worker lead for HasuObs at the moment. And when you factor in the fact that there's 3 mules for HeroMarine, that isn't enough. It just flat out is not enough to give him an economic edge. Forward though come these Zealots, and this is a big move. Storm is done for these High Templar, but they've got to hit them well. Force fields are nice. Storm getting a decent amount of damage down. The Zealots backing out. Nice Storm to the north there, but HeroMarine backs out of it quickly. Good Storm on a large group of Marines there. Clear them all out, but that's all the Storms now gone. 3 force fields for 1 Marine. Not the greatest use of sentry energy. Zealots chasing, getting kited nicely. HeroMarine trying to trade as cost effectively as possible. HeroMarine taking a lot of damage from a Storm drop. Zealots also clearing a path, but units brought back, +2 Mind Sing in a good position, ready to try and stop any more damage being done. War Prism will have to back away. 2 Widow Mines getting themselves ready to try and prevent any further harassment. In total now, HasuObs has killed 28 workers. but that only means that he's 7 workers up. Because of the third base being so much sooner for HeroMarine, he's just able to produce 3 SCVs per cycle, whereas HasuObs can only produce 2. Not to mention the fact that HeroMarine has access to mules, which makes a bigger difference. Push now coming out from the Terran player. Few more Zealots and a High Templar there ready to harass a bit more. Up here, we do have 1, 2 Templar ready to go. Photon Overcharge being used, and HasuObs has to save this base. He cannot afford to lose this third. Storm being used early, defensively. Couple of Marines and Marauders coming forward. The Zealots trying to charge in, but they don't want to go over-committal. Currently, upgrades are 2-2 to 2-1 in favour of HasuObs. But he's got to be so cautious of all these mines. He's only got 1 observer, and it's at his opponent's third. So he's got no way of seeing these or clearing them out. That's frustrating. Could do with getting in a few more. Chucks down a cannon. I believe that was a cannon. Well, there's one in the natural, one in the main, so I don't know which way it was. But he's also continued on with another storm drop. Didn't do as much damage though, and the War Prism has been killed. Sensor Tower also being utilised incredibly effectively here by HasuObs to see these little movements coming in. There's a bunker in place already. The SCVs are all tied up though on that bunker, which means the storm could be huge. Only kills 1 SCV though, the rest just heavily damaged. Forward now comes HeroMarine getting ready to go, picking up a double drop to head in towards the main base, trying to pull apart HasuObs. These medevacs, one has a decent amount of energy, susceptible to a feedback. HasuObs definitely on the defensive. First few ghosts coming onto the field now for HeroMarine, ready to combat these Archons and High Templars. Drop coming through. This High Templar has a lot of energy. First storm hits, second storm hits, third storm hits, but most of the infantry moved out. HasuObs having to back away. Needs to keep up this third though. Photon Overcharge doing its work. Zealots came to defend the rest of that. Still the Photon Cannon up, but where are all the observers? There's now 3, okay. So 1 there, 1 with the army, allowing these mines to start getting taken out. Of course, the Immortals great up against those Marauders. Good storm, hitting a lot of stuff. The Medevacs actually getting quite low. They could be susceptible to a quick snipe. More Marines. Just backing away, trying to bait more of this Protoss army into the mines. Big kill on a lot of Zealots there. Storm being used as well. Not too much else as of yet. This High Templar that went for the Storm attack earlier has banked up a decent amount of energy. Scan coming down from HeroMarine. He's feeling confident. Storm being used well. EMP did get a decent hit, so Archon's being forcibly morphed. Tanking up as much damage as they can. 1 in the back. Still so many mines there though. Double storm coming down here. Big storm on the medevacs. Will take down 1 of them. Another very low. Mines now rushing forward, trying to get in a good position next to these sentries. Could get some massive detonations. Down go 2 of those sentries. The Archons though winning the fight at the moment. So close. The quick warpins though just about keeping HasuObs in a comfortable spot. The mine numbers have decreased. HasuObs getting ready with that Dark Shrine. Worker count 71 to 68. But of course mules on HeroMarine's favour keeps things nice and level. Some more storms being used. The mines get taken out. Ghost count currently at 2, up against just the 1 High Templar. More getting warped in though. Not much else. HeroMarine having to back out for the moment. Upgrades are now 3-3 up against 3-1. So a big upgrade lead for HasuObs at the moment. 2 additional armor upgrades, meaning his Zealots can take a bit more of a beating. Also grabbing in a couple of Dark Templar, ready to harass this third base. And as an oversight from HeroMarine, he hasn't built a missile turret here, which means that he's going to have to spend some scans in order to stop this. If one heads up towards the natural base, there's only 1 bunker there with 1 unit in it, so should be able to sneak by if it's careful. The bunker trying to get focused first, which isn't ideal. Needs to back away from that bunker, out of range for the scan, waiting for a couple more missile turrets to come through. Dark Templar heading to the natural isn't going to succeed. HasuObs has now killed 32 workers and still rising. Stop the missile turret in production, which is very nice. Another scan being used. Zealots buying a bit more time for this Dark Templar. He's definitely paid for himself with 7 kills. The scan will finally allow him to die though. 36 workers now killed. That's 12 times more workers killed by HasuObs compared to his opponent. Absolutely insane. So good at harassment. HasuObs still on 3 bases, moving some probes around though, going to attempt to take a 4th. HeroMarine does not yet have a 4th command center, nor one in production. HasuObs as well, looking to start going towards Colossus Tech, adds in the Robotics Bay. Smart move, you don't want just High Templar. You don't want to allow the Terran opponent to have the opportunity to only produce ghosts and not really have to worry about their army composition. Second starport also coming through though now from HeroMarine, so he's preempting this. Did he actually get a good scan down to see it coming? No, he hasn't, so just assuming that this is roughly the timing that HasuObs tends to go for this style of play. 2 more Hellbats rather, waiting around just in case there's any more DTs. Decent spread of missile turrets as well, just to prevent one getting quickly sniped. We're 22 minutes into this game now, and things are reaching that, I don't want to say a plateau, but they're reaching that kind of max strength point where both players are getting into their endgame compositions, and it's all about expansion denial. Looks like HasuObs doing a decent job of this. High Templar actually gets taken down for free there. Nice little pick off. In comes the Dark Templar though. He can start slashing his way through everything. A scan being used just to pick him off, but it buys a bit of time for more units to come up. Storm being used as well. The Dark Templar there. Everything dies, and the 4th base of HasuObs stays alive. As far as I'm aware, okay, 4th CC is now up for for HeroMarine. Mining nicely there. War Prism heading in towards the main. A couple of Vikings are now coming out. 1 DT into the main base. High Templar down towards the 4th. Gets a couple of SCV kills, but nothing disastrous. It's in the main. Tech Lab's getting focused, preventing any more Marauder production. And it's generally both players trading blows. Scan being forced again to try and take out that DT. And of course, every scan that's used delays the mining of 250 minerals. It doesn't stop it, because obviously the SCVs will eventually mine it, but it just delays it and hurts the income per minute of the Terran player. Could get engagement in the center here, but there's a lot of ghosts. The High Templar needs to be careful. Of course, a few good EMPs, and there's more than a few. HeroMarine could destroy the shields of this entire army. First EMP goes down there, the Archon, very low. Personal cloaking is done as well. Photon overcharge being triggered. Time warp being used. HeroMarine being very bold moving forward here. Vikings getting some nice shots off onto those Colossi, but they're still pushing back. The Archon's in a nice position. A few more ghosts get taken out. Good few more storms, and a lot of those Vikings on critical amounts of health getting taken out nicely by the Archons. The ghosts now being forced to trade. Flank coming in from the side, but a bit off target for HasuObs there. He's pushing through this army. He's up now in supply by quite a lot, and he's crushing this force. So many ghosts getting taken out. That is a big win for HasuObs. Still a few nice snipes hitting though, allowing a lot of those High Templar to die. But still an Archon survives. There's a decent number of Immortals. They're pushing forward. We've got more reinforcements coming from the top. HasuObs gaining momentum here. If he keeps up, it'll be nice, but a few stealth ghosts are able to take out a few reinforcing High Templar. But the push still coming hard and fast. HasuObs knows he's got momentum here, trying to utilize it. Pushing straight up towards the natural base. Wants to end this now. Doesn't want to take out expansions. Doesn't want to try and trade. He wants to end it. Take out production facilities. Prevent reinforcements. And he's doing a good job. With 5 Immortals, the damage against structures is hideously high. The Marauders will melt as well. The Ghosts are still pretty nice, especially if they get EMPs off on those Archon Immortals. Stalkers though pushing forward. Army supply 70 to 37. HeroMarine. He had so many ghosts but lost them all, and GG's cold. HasuObs wins the series and the cup 2-0 over his teammate HeroMarine.